Today we are going to start a new chapter of class 10, that is in civics, that power sharing. Name of the chapter is power sharing. In this chapter we are going to know about what power sharing is, why it's important, and moreover we are going to learn about, or we are going to read about two case studies of two different countries where the impacts of the power sharing is, how the impact of the power sharing was in a negative way and in a positive way also. So first of all, if we come to the name power sharing, so we just get an idea what power sharing is. That means the name power sharing, that means power is being shared between different departments of the state and the central of a country. So if we talk about India, okay, if we are going to the Indian concept, so what Indian concept is, so power is being shared between the different departments. In India, three major departments are there, as we know. First of all is legislative, second is your executive, and third is the judiciary. Power is being shared. Okay, so it is not concentrated in any one hand, so that he or she can exercise it in their own benefits or in a negative way. So power is being shared. If power is being not shared, then what will happen? It has very negative impacts. There is no one to tell why you are using the power badly or why you are using for your own benefits. Okay, then no one is going to stop him or her. So power sharing is much more important. Okay, so if we come to the positive points, why power sharing is important. So power sharing is important because to smoothly run the democracy. Okay, if the power is being shared, so there is someone on the top of any other power, so that he can ask him the question if he is doing anything wrong. Okay, and if the power is being not being shared, then there is no one on top of anyone, any other person who is in his or her the power is being concentrated. So no one is going to ask him why you're using this power. He is the supreme commander of the power and he can use it for his own benefit. So in this chapter we are going to read about two case studies, that is, as I've told you, that Belgium and Sri Lanka. So if you come to the point of Belgium, so what happens in Belgium? There are power is not being shared at that time, okay, because it's a past thing when it was happened. So power is not being shared. Power is not being shared. That means there are some complications going on. There are different groups of people who are using different languages. That means two main prominents are there. That is the Dutch-speaking people and the French. In Belgium, the percentage of Dutch-speaking people were around 60%, and the percentage of French-speaking people were 40% in all over the country. But in the city of Brussels, that is the capital of Belgium, where the percentage of French-speaking people were 80% and 20% were Dutch-speaking people. And the people of the French speaking people were rich and powerful. So they are having the powers, they are using it, they are exercising it, and the Dutch speaking people are deprived of all this power. So the education and the economic development are going in the hands of the Dutch people very later. So it makes a tensions between the tension has been created between the French speaking people and the Dutch speaking people. So what has been started, that communal disagreement or discontentment started between these two peoples. So the people who are French speaking, they are rich, they are powerful, they are using the powers, and the Dutch speaking people who are minority in the city of Brussels, they are deprived of all the powers. So it makes a tensions. So in this case, if the power is being distributed, if the power is being distributed in both the hands, in the French speaking people and the Dutch speaking people, then these complications will come to an end, as we all know. So in this case we know that if power is being shared, then this complications is going to come to an end. So power sharing, in this case we see that it is important. Well, because if power is being not being shared, then this complications is going to continue. Come to the case study of Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, the two major social groups are there: the Sinhala speaking peoples and the Tamil speaking peoples. The Sinhala speaking peoples were 74% in numbers, and the Tamil speaking peoples were 18% in numbers. Out of that 18%, 13% are the native people who lives in Sri Lanka. They are the Tamils, and the rest, out of that 18%, are the Indian Tamils, whose forefathers has came during the colonial period for the plantations workers, and they are living here as their life. Um, and the rest 7% is remaining. The 7% are Christians. The Singhalas were basically the Buddhist, while the Tamils were Hindus and Muslims. Okay, so they are living there, and the majority, as we know, that the people, the numbers which are in majority, exercise the supreme powers, who are having the supreme powers. So here, the Singhala speaking peoples are having the supreme power. They are using it. They are having the main powers in their hand. They are using it for their own purpose, while the Tamil people are all deprived. The Tamil speaking peoples were all deprived of these powers, because, as we all know, in our country also, if we see that any minority group, if they don't get the reservation, here I'm including this term, reservation is given to the people of the minority groups, so that they can come up with that other community also. They are not going to be deprived of the other facilities or the benefits which are other communities are getting. So reservation is given to the minority group, but it has came afterward, after power is being shared. But in the case study of Belgium and Sri Lanka, this has not happened yet at that time. If we come to that Belgium again, so that the French speaking people, who are more in numbers, who are getting more powers and benefits, who are rich, they can enforce their powers on the Dutch speaking peoples and get the benefit on their own, for their own. They are the Dutch speaking peoples get deprived in the city of Brussels, but they are in the majority in the whole country, so it has make a tension between them. Same wise in Sri Lanka also, the Singhalas were in 75% around, so 74%, sorry, 74% around, so they can push their powers on that Tamil speakings, because they are in great in numbers, they are big in numbers, and it has become a concern, a more of concern for the peoples of the Tamil speakings. So in these two case studies, it has not been yet what has happened in Belgium, what has happened in Sri Lanka. We are going to discuss it elaborately, okay? But from this case study, what we have read it up to right now, we have came to the conclusion that power sharing is really, really, really important. If power is not being shared, so many complications, many problems going to arise. Okay, so in this place we are going to just understand the things, what power sharing is, why we need powers, why the power is being shared, why we need to share the power. Okay, so if uh, if we take the conditions of our country in India, as I've told you earlier, that power is being shared between legislative, executive and judiciary. So executive makes the law, as we know, and for enforcing that laws, the executive is there, and if there is anything problems arise in this, then judiciary is there to come up or to overcome all these things. Okay, so power is being shared, everything is working fine, smoothly. Apart from some things are there which are not going to, because nothing is going to be 100% good or 100% perfect. So apart from that, it's running good. Okay, so power sharing is very important, very, very, very important. So here we have learned how the power is being shared, why the power is being shared. Okay, and in the next we are going to learn about the different, how they have overcome, not the different, how they have overcome that problem of the French speaking people and the Dutch speaking people in Belgium, and the Sinhala speaking peoples and the Tamil speaking peoples in the Sri Lanka.